Alrighty then. What is going on YouTube? This is your boy Ligo, one half of Enduro, and this is basically a kind of how should I say this? This has basically been a going to be a behind the scenes kind of basically you're learning stuff about people behind the scenes. That's what this is going to be about in a way, because I've seen so many people. I've seen so many people talk about stuff, so I'm gonna talk about some behind the scenes stuff. Really, sorry for the slow start. I'm just trying to again. Hopefully, I'm trying to type something right here so you don't be. Let's start it. Questions and out. Nintendo. All right. All right. So this is basically a test, a little taste of what behind the scenes is gonna be. So we're gonna get to that point right there. And let me get rid of this chat window and make sure I have the other chat window. Okay, so now we're good. So anyway, as we let's get going about this. So right now, right now on the screen that it's playing, I will say this: the Zelda Universe TV. They are Zelda Universe TV. I will please glad to support their channel. These guys they dub most of Zelda stuff. Is a Zelda channel centric channel. Anything Zelda they will talk about. But what happened is they came with a concept to find people to dub and turn Hyrule Warriors into movie, and it was it's got a lot of views and a lot of views and stuff, and people like it. That they did it with Skyward Sword, they did it with Wind Waker, and now they're doing it with Twilight Princess, and I can't wait to see that. And it's really good how they did it. Some of the voices don't match, but some voices are spot on. Again, like in this one here, my hats off to the I forgot his name, but who did Wizro's voice? Perfect, really good. Of course, Lincoln and Tetra's really good. Whoever did Tetra's voice, I forgot her name as well too, and so on. And then of course, Gearham is not really that great in here, but he's really good in Skyward Sword. So they switched it out. So a shout out to these guys. Whatever you got, basically it's like a movie. You want to go, you can listen and watch the thing. If you never played the game, it's kind of like that. But the voice act, they dub everything, and it's really good. Again, they did it for Skyward Sword, and they did it also for Wind Waker. And they did a good job on the Wind Waker one as well too. So Twilight Princess is the next one. Can't wait to see that one. And in the Hyrule Warriors, they give you all the content from this to every content that's on the 3DS right now from Legend. So it's just not, they just don't give the main story. They give you the story and Sia's story and Tetra's story and Linkle's story. So they combine all of them together. So it's a full thing. So check them out. Like I said, that's what you'll be watching on the screen right now. Yeah. Okay. So good to me. Fruity Puncher. Good man. Fruity Puncher. The person, like I said, she who did. I forgot who she did Tetra's voice, and it's really good. Tetra's voice good. Red King Alliance is good. Like I said, Rizro is just phenomenal because it's the laugh. Oh my goodness. So it is the laugh. Visual's laugh is just so good. How come I could play? Okay, so you guys still going back and forth with this. Let me see. We are getting a platform with only one screen, which is enough to make people say Nintendo learn GameCube days are back. No, that would be stupid to say that, because if it were GameCube games were back, people would have bought the platform when it was back then. That would be stupid to say that, because it was not the number one, even though Nintendo bent their back head over heels to give third parties exactly what they want, and they screwed them. So yeah, that's a stupid thing to really say. But anyway, let's get into this topic, because I'm sorry for the rambling at the beginning. So let's get into the topic. And while you'll be watching this on the screen, like I said, check out Zelda Universe TV. I would like to say I have no problem supporting these people. They're people good. So, and you could ask questions in regard of this topic. Okay, we're talking about people has been saying that, because me, I want to say here's a young team working on a Switch and working on stuff. Everybody's thinking like, oh, great, Nintendo. Miyamoto has learned. He's backing off and not being ahead of making ahead of making the platform or making games and stuff for making the games that he sees fit or whatever, and they letting new fresh blood take over and do something about this. And you go to many people's videos and see that, and they are missing the point completely when they say that. Does it have a factor of truth in it? Yes, but then they're speculating that he's falling back and he's not doing this, and it's great, and that Miyamoto is not in charge of making any for the console development and all that stuff. That's where people get their falsehood and their stupidity mixed up so many times, and that's something that annoys me. It really does. Cause they talk on it like they got they do talk like they got the inside scoop. That's the sad part about it. So, but I'm a person who, like I said, I talk for real and tell you what's going on in many regards. So they're saying, happy that he's taking over, he's doing this for the Switch. Okay. If you say so, because I know for sure the last console that Miyamoto had, and where he did his software design, had anything about that, had anything to say about the console, before that was the last one. That was it. When they made a Nintendo 64 just to play Mario 64, and it took Julian Egbert, and again, these are names you could guys, if you could find them and you could check their history about this stuff. Because unlike other people, I'm not gonna be pissing around and do stupid stuff. No, I'll tell you these people names that it's important and everything. But you could check out Julian Egbert for Pack the 5 on how they basically broke down the 64 so they could play other games, because the game was made the 64 was only made to play Mario 64. That's the last time Miyamoto had any hand in true hand development into the consoles. People don't know that, but they speculate that nonsense. So, and then people talking about, he's stepping back. He's not. Is because what's going on with the Wii and then the Wii U and all that stuff. Let's get this straight. Miyamoto Yamauchi assigned Miyamoto head of software development, or EAD, now called EPD, in 2001. It was in 2001. Just because money of these people didn't know how to play Star Fox, which is basically their fault, but I'll digress. Miyamoto been head in charge of that. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't get the Metroid. If it was Metroid Prime that everybody's raving and ranting about, it was Miyamoto because he personally went over there and did stuff. He also was the one who made decisions with Smash. He also made decisions as well, other than with working with Sakurai, of course, and Iwata. They were more of the top, but he kind of helped out in that way, saying like, okay, let's try to make this thing fun. He also one who made Eternal Darkness. As you could go to Dance Dak, and he talked about how he and Miyamoto was talking about this, and he thought he was scared that Miyamoto would not approve his game. And he's like, Miyamoto gave him thumbs up. Oh, this is creepy, but it looks good. You could check out interviews of Dennis Dack saying that. But again, these YouTubers will never search that far. They'll just read whatever any other YouTuber or any other rag gave me to say, and then they just bubble it over and give their opinions, which is shallow, more shallow than a cup of water. Basically, not even an inch deep. And they guys will just say all I gotta say in that little cup of water, fill it up, which is full of crap, and then it turns very brown quick when it's full of shit. So. Now, I will grant it. I ain't gonna be cursing and talking this way on the true behind the scenes, not behind the games thing. But I can say this is a podcast and I'm winging it. I'm winging a little bit of it, so it'll be there. So he was in charge of software development, software there from 2001, all until now. He's not left the position. Yamauchi signed him head of software development. He assigned Iwata CEO of the company. He signed a person who I've talked before. A lot of people didn't know who this guy was, but of course they were like, "Who's Ginyu Takeda?" I've been talking about Ginyu Takeda long time before Iwata's unfortunately passing, and people was like, "Who is he? What he is, and whatever." And this is why I say my knowledge is what it is, because I talk about stuff beyond that people don't know. And then when it comes relevant, you're like, oh, wow. No, that's where I bring my knowledge of knowing people, talking to people, networking, seeing things the way it's supposed to be. That's the difference between me and most people. Again, and I don't care for 1,000 subs, 2,000 subs, whatever. If you guys willing to listen, it's cool. If you don't, you don't. But it wasn't as people say. Because people was throwing that Iwata was the one who helped with the DS and the Wii U. No, it wasn't. It really wasn't. The man who really, here's the thing. If he wasn't for his also unfortunate passing, many things, great things might have come from this man, other than games and everything else. Gunpei Yokoi did a lot of, the late great, did a lot of designs and held back. Some did fail. With Virtual Boy was one of them, but he had schematics for a lot of stuff that technology could. He basically now they've been taken over with. He's the one who really he's the one who basically had the schematic design for the DS and the 3DS. He also took design from the Zapper and turned it into which basically they constructed into the Wiimote and the Wii U right now, and the Wii, I should say, the Wii. And then of course they said 2 screens for the DS. So what I do for home console, that's the way do it as well too. The lead designers for this, from since the Wii up to now, basically from not from the Game Boy Advance, but from DS up to now, has been Ginyu Takeda. And you know what he was? And this is where a lot of these YouTubers don't know what's going on. Is Yamauchi was not stupid. He know do not crush the golden egg. He was a smart man. He knew how to run a business. Unlike other people, there's two types of people. There's 2 types of people that run a business. People who have a love and understand the art of what, or the art or the job itself, what they're doing, or people who are smart enough to find those same people to run the business, and they just do the financial part and let them have the creativity to do what they got to do. And Yamauchi was one of those. Was the latter. That's what he knew to do. He knew how to run the company and be what he was, while he let other people do what they had to do. Excuse me. Because he knows that let's take a good look at this, guys. Really, let's take a good look at this so you can understand where I'm coming from. Let's take a good look at this. Nintendo, 30 years plus in gaming. In the NES, and I've stated this many times in the podcast in the past, so people can understand this. In the NES, Capcom came alive making games. Konami came alive making games for the NES. Hudson Soft came alive making it NES. Squaresoft came alive making games on the NES. Square, all these games, these people came alive, and their company got that initial boost on the NES. Mega Man, Castlevania, Metal Gear. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. I know. Whew. It's cold. It's not. I don't know. Some nights begin cold, and I was out in the cold last night and early this morning. So yeah, I do have the sniffles more stronger than I normally do. So yeah, but those games had those companies became alive on the console. Hell, Midway, which helped Ed Boon become Nightmare Realms, of course, with his Mortal Kombat. I mean, there's so many things that started on NES and Genesis. Some did. I'm not going to deny that. But mostly on the NES and the NES made a lot of these companies who they are today. Some of them have shuttered their doors and they're not around no more. But take an objective look at things. Take a real objective look at things. But I'm going to point out here, that's why I say YouTubers don't know what they're talking about sometimes. Mio Igarashi, Kenji Inafune, I forgot the name from Mr. Red Fox, and he knows what to talk about with Final Fantasy. A lot of these companies have these, even Kojima, all these guys don't have somebody who learned how to make games underneath them. And we see what's happening with these companies now. See, Yamauchi came up with a shuttering program back in the 19 Sakaguchi. All right. Spice basically says Sakaguchi is the. I'm thinking that's what you say for Final Fantasy, right? So if that's the case, and I forgot the name myself, my apologies. But these guys did have nobody to really mirror them or shadow them. And that's why a lot of these companies have got problems. Corey, you can see that. You can see how that works out right now. Yamauchi was smart enough to start a shuttering program. People are saying Miyamoto need to let the reins go. Don't let him not do things as much as before. Yeah. Okay. So let's take a look at this. And you guys can look at these names. So Tezuya, who's been working with Nintendo for a while and made Mario games and Zelda games, he's become lead designer of some of those games, not Miyamoto. How about let's go to the one that everybody knows, because Miyamoto was making Zelda games. Then who took over Zelda from Majora's Mask, which he challenged Inuma to make the game in a turnaround, and Inuma was capable of doing it. And Inuma has become what? He has become the main producer and director of Zelda for the last couple Zelda games. He shadowed Miyamoto. Miyamoto just looks over the game to make sure it's fun and everything else. He passed it on. I'm gonna get to that sprite, and you're kind of wrong. He did, but I'll get to that sprite. He passed it on. Then in 2000, in Mario Kart 64, a new person came on the scene. Basically, Hideki Kono. And Hideki Kono, basically, after a while, what has he done? He became, they changed his title now, but he basically took over Mario Kart and became the main producer of Mario Kart. Again, Miyamoto looks over it, but he's the main producer and director of Mario Kart. So he passed the torch down to somebody else. So he passed on his talents down to that. Nobody sees that in it. It's kind of funny how that works out. Hell, even Inuma has somebody already underneath him. The person who basically was the director designer for Triforce Heroes, and also has been working on Zelda for a long time too. Hiroshima Shitaki. He's been doing Zelda games as well, and he took he took a chance to do his lead role with Triforce Heroes, and he's also one of the main producers on Breath of the Wild. He's been shadowing Numa. They passed Nintendo. Yamauchi had the foresight to see that they're going to pass down the gaming knowledge, so people just look at it stupidly. The only problem, the thing that Yamauchi knew was, he knew that making games fun is something that Nintendo thrives itself on, and that's why he appointed somebody who's made fun games all his time, Shigeru Miyamoto, as the head of EAD back in 2001. That's what Yamauchi figured. Just like he saw how Genyu Takeda was a great engineer and he shadowed Gunpei Yokoi, that he could basically implement what Gunpei Yokoi's schematics and engineering was, that he feel, okay, let's put this guy in charge of R&D. And of course, the last Triforce would have been in Iwata, who also know about gaming, who also know about the programming, who also know about the fun side, put him in front of the CEO. That was the Triforce, that was the trifecta that Yamauchi had in his mind, so they could take care of his company. Now, if he was alive, there's certain things I know for sure he wouldn't have let Iwata have done. But again, there's a lot of things Iwata would have kept on doing, because everybody think the Wii was a failure, even though it made money, and it made a lot of money. But people don't know about that. They just think sales of physical things. That's the sad part. But they think that the Switch was done by a younger development team. No. The lead designer on the Nintendo Switch, can anybody guess who it was? Let's see anybody chat, be listening, and guess who the main designer for the Nintendo Switch was. I'm looking at the chat. People don't want to be educated like her. But the sales. People like zombies. No, it wasn't you, Sidekick Cooper. No. Anyone else? Who do you think was the main person? I made a Switch. No, you didn't. Stop messing around in the chat. It's like Sidekick Cooper. Well, who was the main lead designer on the Nintendo Switch? Of course, it was Genyu Takeda. But again, nobody knows, because here's the thing: the schematics for that Switch came from Gunpei again. That's where it came from. Gunpei, he has, just like how Yamauchi said, hey, Miyamoto, anything, any hobbies you got, we copyrighting it because we can make games out of it. He kind of did the exact same thing with Gunpei Yokoi, even though that his even though no, it wasn't Iwata, even though he messed up with the Virtual Boy. There was things in the Virtual Boy that's be success today. 3D, of course, 3D with the 3DS. You're funny. But you're funny, Foodie Puncher. But no, but it was that he has a plethora of stuff that happens that still going on. The Switch was basically helping Gunpei Yokoi and basically Genyo Takeda and some people that are, you would say, new, yes, but the lead designer was that to help things go on to do the Switch, because everybody says the Switch is just a different Wii U. Exactly. Technology caught up that they could do something with it, just like with the 3DS. They couldn't get a 3DS tracking in the beginning. Technology caught up. Then they released the new 3DS XL, and it caught up with everybody's eyes, and the 3D is way better now. But nobody has the patience for that kind of stuff. And let's even go to people who talk about, yeah, Gunpei Yokoi was really ahead of his time, Anderson. You're 100% right about that. And that's what a lot of people don't see. That's what it's funny when people, I see people like, oh, come on, to catch up with the times. You mean they had a gun zapper before, they had the motion control with the remote before the Move came out, before the Kinect. They also had make sure cartridges work, and then they're the first console to go back to cartridges now. And yeah, they're behind the times. Of course, their consoles are the one that don't need installs, and you know, long. We could beat the drum as usual. But he did a lot of stuff that implemented to that. That's what he's saying. And let's even test that theory. I want to test that theory right now because again, these people don't understand this stuff. So Splatoon. Everybody's like, oh, Splatoon, a new young team got in there and did this stuff. Oh, it was so great. It's so awesome. Yusuke Amano and Tsubasa Sakaguchi, the two head guys who helped design Splatoon. And these are new guys. I wonder when they started to work for Nintendo. Since Splatoon came in 2015, and they said that these are new young blood that created this thing, and these guys are not young guys in the first place. I don't know. Let's see. Yusuke basically started at Nintendo. Oh, I don't know, 2003. Huh. And Tsubasa started in 2005. Huh. These guys are new blood, all right. You think they're gonna just let anybody just walk in there and just do these stuff? These guys earn their way up, making games, doing stuff, just like Yoshima. Dang it, Yoshiro Matake, who did Box Boy, and like these guys been around in the company for a while. Hell. Konochi Hayoba basically been there since what? Made his first game in '89, moved over to Nintendo with Super Mario Brothers. Oh, excuse me again. The Super Mario Brothers. And people just don't catch how that works. These guys are not fresh, new blood. And here's the next sad part about it, too. While other companies, Sony, SOE, as you heard me have said many times, they shuttered 2/3 of their company to make the game development. Xbox been shutting studios. You guys know about it. The only company that's been hiring, sad but true, as in the development field, has been Nintendo. But again, nobody wants to give them that credit. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you give them the credit? These people who they say there's no games released 8 games this year, released 8 games this year, or released 9 games last year, huh? But there's no games for the console, even though they release games on a constant clip. Might not be your cup of tea. I can respect that. Subjectively, you're right. Not your cup of tea, but you can't say there ain't no games on the system when they release. They're the biggest publisher. They're releasing games back to back to back, not mobile centric. And look what we're gonna do now with mobile. They released 2 mobile games this year. Well, yeah, because of Miitomo. And of course, Miitomo was last year. I'm sorry, Miitomo was last year, and this year was Pokemon Go. Subsidiary of it. Let's be real about it. But then you're gonna have Run, which of course, who's that director of Run? Oh, I don't know. Let me think. Hideki Kono, the guy who did Mario Kart. This is why I state what I said. You just don't come in and be a rock star or whatever. If there might be people that might do that. I'm not even denying that. But Nintendo knows they have a thing called fun. When I went to Nintendo and I went into Nintendo Japan, like I said, when I walked through those hallways and I saw people doing stuff, it's all about fun. Fun is first. Fun is the number one thing when they talk about games. If it ain't fun, they don't really want to make it that much. They want to show you a new experience, how to enjoy video games, because they take video game as a true art. This generation, everybody's talking about graphics. Making video game design, technically speaking, is an art form. And I'm sorry, other than Tearaway from PlayStation, which I give it that, and Gravity Rush, or in the Blind Forest. What's the other game we're going to talk about? Journey. I'm trying to remember the one game on the top of my head. All those games, majority of the games came on one console that showed you art style. Paper Mario, Yoshi's Woolly World, Rainbow's Curse. Arts, they took the art style to another level. SpongeBob taught me the fun song. Yeah. I know, Anderson. Fun is a dirty word. I get you. I don't catch what people say yet, but it's a dirty, dirty word. Fun, optimization, patience, knowledge. No, people get knowledge. They just don't get wisdom. My mistake. Wisdom. So, as you guys peruse YouTube, right? You're gonna see how all these people talk about, oh, Miyamoto is stepping back. Miyamoto is still ahead of the game. Now going to what you said, Sprite, about Mario 3D World. Miyamoto was a part of that team too. Like I say, he's the overlooker. He makes sure that it's fun to play. He's still the one who looks fun and says, okay, if this fun, let's add this to it. Again, I've told you the story of, if you've never listened to it, but I'll tell you the story. When these guys were brainstorming to find out a fun way to make Mario move faster, and they came up with the Cat Mario, they were literally walking on all fours and thinking, oh, the Cat Mario inside of the room, grown adults just clowning around and having fun. Sly Cooper, hey, he said fun, get him. Everybody was clowning around having fun. A grown ass woman was crawling on the floor like a cat, meow, and said it'll be cool that you could claw up. That literally I saw and saw people having fun. That's what they do, the fun concept, to make sure it works. That's how it always had been. as people know about the story with how Splatoon as well as Miyamoto was messing around with water guns and Nerf guns and stuff like that. I'm just saying what really happened, Anderson. That's all. Sorry, people. But that's the fun part. That's what it was. That's how they make their games and enjoyed it. They take this thing seriously. For a company that has basically between 5,000 to 6,000 people, and they do this much more work, and most of their studios are not like, I don't know, like Ubisoft with 600 studios to work on one game. No, these are people comprised of um, from two, sometimes even one, but from two all the way up to 150 that works on the game. That's a company that does great stuff. All these do, like I said, you could go get the Box Boy. I mean, even like I say, those guys, even guys who did Box Boy, they've been working I've been working on Kirby from since Kirby's Dream Land. These are not young guys per se. These are guys I care like Subasa and Yasuki is basically in 30s and 40s. Majority of these guys are in their 50s. And they took over from Miyamoto or from Inuma or from Tezuya to do these games or whatever. That's why I'll say, let me put it here. Sakurai, I still wish you let somebody shadow your ass. Really? Stop being so hard-headed. I don't know to now if he's letting somebody not shadowing him. Hopefully, when I go to Japan next year, or when I talk to my friend Kenji, that he would also know about this. Know if somebody's shadowing Sakurai for the new game that he's working on. I hope so. I really do. 'Cause it's needed. But it still needs to say these YouTubers do not know what they're talking about. As Anderson just pointed out, these guys are misanthropes. I just listed off a bunch of developers who've been working in Nintendo for a while, and even the ones that's young, that these guys just tiptoeing the one and say, "Oh, these are young guys taking over." Yeah, yeah, they've been with a company for over 10 years. So this is why people need to, just stick to basically you can say a game sucks, don't sucks, why I like this game or not, keep it moving. Don't try to get into business again as a lot of people understand. Armchair analysts and businessmen, you're not good at it. And the media also, hell, they're not good at it. Because again, I saw even IGN and all those people asking who was getting the Takeda when Iwata passed away. This is ridiculous. How the hell you guys don't know about this stuff? Right. Like don't lose your brain cells either. I forgot. They don't have people to interpret stuff from Japan, but they wait for people from Reddit and all the other G4 and all the other platforms to work and translate it so they can report on it. Right. Forgot about that. That's what it is. So again, I see some people talk about this young thing. Rob, you're wrong. Well, spoiled juice. We know what you said. You're wrong. And then a couple other people, they're wrong too. They're going the wrong way around it. They don't know about the situation inside of it. They think messed up. But it is what it is. Let me see. Well, that's throwing it off the topic. You're right, Psychic Cooper. Hell, I'll ask. I saw it, so I'll ask you. I'll basically hold your question to the last end, Psychic Cooper. And you asked the question. I think you asked the question in the last podcast. Basically, you asked a question in the last podcast, Psychic Cooper, and I want to acknowledge it. I was just trying to keep it what it is. But of course, if you wanna, like I said, my username on the Wii U, of course, is my name is basically Liger T3. So it's Liger T3. That's the Nintendo ID. If you want to, like I said, I don't play a lot of online games, but hey, if you want to link into stuff like that, whatever you can. And I think Heartless Songs is Katie, which is the other half of Endduel, because I don't know what you join in, but yeah. Heartless Songs, Heartless, lowercase songs with a Z is her setup as well too. So that's how that worked out. But to get back to just to finish it off, because I think I exacerbated this topic as more than they need to be. But again, there you go. Check out all these people's names that I list off. You'll see what's going on. Again, Inuma already don't have somebody. I just told you Inuma's already having somebody shadow him. Kono's already gone. Kono might still do the next Mario Kart, or he's got somebody shadowing him. Miyamoto has not stepped back. He still is the head. Basically, he's the chief of fun. That's what he is, being the head of the EPD. And most of the designs coming from a great man who passed away very, very early. Again, he made toys, he made the Game Boy, he made the Game & Watch. His Game & Watch idea transcended into the 3DS with a little touch of the Virtual Boy. His idea transformed from taking the stylus from the Zapper into the Wii remote. I mean, this guy was a visionary before a lot of people even think about stuff like that. Again, to the point I've said it, honestly, you're right. I don't know if he's being shadowed now for his new game. I hope he is. And he learned his lesson. But we'll see. We will see. But it's sad. And all next thing I'll say, it's sad that Ginyu Takeda don't get his shine for what he has done from the DS up to now. A guy who's engineered and worked so hard, and people barely know his name for all the great stuff that he's given. Those consoles that we love so much, and the way he make the games. Yeah. I want to. I've gone for you, but we're still alive. When people hate him for his designs or other M. Yeah, I would, because hell, they hated Miyamoto. They hated Miyamoto. Yes, the answer would be hell yeah. They hated Iwata, wanted the man to be fired back then, and until he passed away. Now they did the exact same thing after Star Fox, and now people are cheering because they're saying, "Oh, he's stepping back, and there's a new young team. There's a new young team taking over, a young team that's been in Nintendo for about basically 10 to 12 years. Yeah, and they're in their 50s as well as Miyamoto's in his 60s. Yeah, sure. You seen this? You know what you're talking about, people. You guys really do. You really do. They would have hate Gunpei just like anybody else. Gunpei, sorry. I keep my point, my mistake. They would hate Gunpei just like Miyamoto and Iwata and Reggie. They would have hated it. They would have hated them. Yes. The answer will be yes. Why don't I? Yeah, I don't know if Sakurai is being shut up. He's so damn stubborn. He's stubborn, but again, at this point, I don't know. I know for the last when he was doing up to Smash Brothers, he wasn't, and I've not been. The focus has been like I have not. Like I said again, I have not talked to my friend Kenji because they are basically doing a lot of tests, make sure all the software, all the OS system is working great on the Switch right now. So I've not talked to him in a while. Basically, at around Christmas time, I think I'll get to him because you gotta wish my homeboy Merry Christmas, of course. But that's other than that, yeah. But that's how that's gonna work. Let me see. Who knows how much Nintendo would have changed if Gunpei was still alive today. That is something you're I don't know the answer to, and you're right on that foodie puncher. People tend to not appreciate in the time or hated the appreciating or the appreciate. Okay, people tend to not be appreciated in their time, or are hated and appreciated after their time, which is true. And I was I go Genndy Takeda is a smart, very smart, compassionate man who made systems, and he's a great engineer. And sad that he don't get his shine, except for people like me who calls him out and say, "Good job." And again, that's what I'm saying. You can go back to my videos and my videos on my channel and see. Gunpei, I said Genndy Takeda. He did this, blah blah blah. I even have when Iwata passed away before even before the people brought up the whole Genndy Takeda as a CEO, and they don't know what he's talking about. And who's this guy? You can go back and see when I had my tribute videos to Iwata, and I also said basically the true Triforce was Genndy Takeda, Shigeru Miyamoto, and Iwata, and I just explained how that was. But then when he placed them in those situations, he placed them there. They didn't get elected there. He put them there. But it's ridiculous. And these YouTubers don't know what they're talking about. How did they become a thing? You gotta explain that one to me, Foodie Puncher. How the fuck did this become a thing? You talking about that appreciating? Oh man, I mean, I just did a crazy like right now. But how they're not appreciated, or how people just basically blindly just going on videos, and that, like I said, I can't disrespect people's opinions. I have no problem with you saying what you're gonna say, but when you're talking stuff that you really do not know things about, or the hated part, yeah, because look, I'll be honest. I was gonna do this video. I had an idea for this video myself. I ain't gonna say do this because I can't say that, but I had an idea for this. Like, Visiting has a video on his channel called "Gamers Adults Have Made Mess of Gaming," and I agree with him to a degree, but I agree majority, because what happened was, it's just like, okay, as an example everybody uses, Star Fox. Oh, the control's so hard, I can't get used to the controllers. Even though we have people who was on infinite mode, that you couldn't get hurt, they still couldn't beat the game. The first stage, I should say, which is in Saturn. The gamepad has been, I stated it before, the gamepad has been out for 3 years before Star Fox came out. You telling me you couldn't get used to the gyros? Sorry about that. Can't get used to the gyros and the gyros then from Nintendo Land to Kirby and the Rainbow's Curse to Wonderful 101 to Splatoon, and you couldn't get used to the gyros to play Star Fox, but Star Fox 64 came out in the launch window, and you went from a Super NES to a new controller that's way different, and an analog stick that you never touch in your life, but people adapted to that back then, because now adults don't want to learn. They want to be stagnant. That's the sad part. These guys from 25 and up, they're stagnant. They don't want to learn things. You learned it back then, and it was never a problem. And that's the same. That's how that problem prevailed itself. Our parents didn't really care. They just want to make sure, hey, we won't play video games that much. Now we got people who stick in that mindset of I'm 12 still. Yes, we're playing kids games right now. Don't get me wrong, but you still have bills to pay. You, as a grown-up person, you have bills to pay. This should be, as my man Quan Manchu said, this should be a $60 ticket vacation to enjoy and suspend yourself from reality, decompress, have fun, enjoy the world. That's what you're supposed to be doing. But these gamers don't do that. Most of these gamers now, too, because of the internet, they wrap themselves up into these games, and that's their identity. I'm the best Call of Duty player. And if that goes down, then you got a problem. As you fully punch, you remember if you went back to that video, you know, like I said, comparison, hype, and popularity are the reason. Are the three things that crush your happiness. I remember those. I remember it now. Those are the three things that crush your happiness. You get so popular, but the thing about it is, if you get unpopular, you're gonna get sad because you got to do certain things that you don't like to do. One, or if people just move on, kind of like PewDiePie, then you're gonna feel like, oh man, you're gonna feel depressed. And a lot of people who go through some serious depression is when they come off a nasty high of being so popular, of being looked at, and they go to a nasty depression. Some people committed suicide by doing that stuff like that. Then you got people who just can't let things be alone. Okay, I got this game that's good. Don't get me wrong, a true comparison being objective is no problem. But that's why you hear me say in the last podcast when I said, like with Psychic Cooper, I don't think it's a bad idea that he's coming to the Switch. And if he's gonna have some fun, ukulele go play the game, that's not a problem. And some people say they're not gonna buy the game. That's their money. I do not judge people what they're gonna do with their money. I judge them if they do stupidity, if they say one thing and they don't do it. As again, many gamers said they would never play online hours game. They lied. Many gamers said we don't want no installs. The number one soul console has installs. You have to install majority of the games. So no. So they lied. They don't want DRMs. DRMs. They lied. And it goes on and on and on. That's the thing that kills me the most. I could be objective. Because people are talking about there's no such thing as a neutral gamer. They're neutral gamers. But the thing about it is people forgetting one thing. Because when you see when people who say they're neutral gamers out there, they always say, well, I'm unbiased or like all this. That word does not exist. Nobody is unbiased. None. No one. Not your mama, not your grandma, not your little sister, not your little brother. Nobody's unbiased. Not a word, not a person. Everybody experience is different. Everybody has bias. That's why people use the words. That's why I have a problem as the Game Idea guy when he had his video talking about gimmick in his last Nintendo Switch. I hate when people do not use the words the right way. It annoys me. People use the words the wrong way. Nobody's unbiased. Nobody on this planet is unbiased. None. I mean, a little baby and stuff like that. But when you start getting forums and you have a lot of thing, no, nobody's unbiased. So no YouTuber who has the company, who you are listening to other than me, who say, "Oh, I'm unbiased." No, you're not. Stop. You're not. You ain't. You're biased. All of us are. Just like we would say, "Oh, I don't judge nobody." Bullshit. You judge people. It's part of human nature. Who are you to go and say, "Ooh, that's a bad lion from that other lion"? No, how about I don't mess with lions, so you won't get your ass eaten. That's make common sense to me. That's the way you survive. But these gamers say that stuff, so that's how it works out. Now to go back to basically end it up. You said Psychic Cooper, you asked. Let me see. It's annoying to me when people use the words the wrong way nowadays. Oh, I tell you, trust me, Foodie Puncher. That's how I feel too. I hate when people use the words the wrong way. It's my pet peeve. It's basically something that annoys me the worst when people don't use the word the right way. It does. But going back to Sidekick Cooper, you said games I like. Basically, I would have to say action adventure, RPGs, basically, and puzzle games. Now, I play all kinds of games, of course, unlike other people. I mean, my least favorite would be basically straight up, even except for football, because I love football, not American football, international football, FIFA football. I do love football. That's the only simulation game and maybe racing that I'll take on. But like NFL, rugby, cricket, baseball, stuff like that, nah, I like the more arcade fun of those games. Cause we baseball, basketball, same thing. Cause I want fun. NBA Jam, SSS Tricky, FIFA Street, Need for Speed Carbon. Well, Most Wanted. Let's go to the original Most Wanted, not the second one. Stuff like that. I like games like that, like to have fun with it. So, but those are my least. I would say that. But yeah, action, RPG, puzzles, basically the top three. I mean, I ain't got a problem against shooters because I have shooters from different genres, of course. But but if you looked at my I have a video where I say I hate gamers right now. I have shooters on that on my different consoles, but they all have, most of the shooters have a quirkiness to them. That's the best way I can explain it. Has a quirkiness to them. So that's why like Devil's Third or Red Steel or how should I say it? Like I mean the best Call of Duty game I've played to me is Black Ops 2 because of how the characters are and you have multiple ending and the bad guy was just so good, epic. I liked it, and that's what I'm cool with. But I think other than that, thank you guys. I don't want to waste you more time as usual. Thank y'all for joining me. Be careful what you hear those guys talk about young YouTuber because it Miyamoto and the young taking over. It's sad, like I said again, I state young Gunpei, I'm not Gunpei, okay. Genyu Takeda doesn't get the shine that he deserves for doing all these things that he's supposed to do. Cherry Goblin, Miyamoto's approve of the guys. Like, thank you guys for joining us. So, Foodie Punches, Santiago 360, Double A, Cherry Goblin. Saw for a second. FL21ID, RPG, RPG needs to shut the hell up because he don't understand Miyamoto's idiot. He's an idiot. Yeah. Again, these guys. What can you say? What can you say? Thank you guys for joining us out there. Again, if you're gonna learn about if you really want to know what's going on behind the industry or whatever, and you want to learn stuff like that, they take your time and look at this stuff. See, these YouTubers look at the surface and give you opinion, and nothing's wrong with that. But again, when you put your opinion as fact, that's the problem. I don't put my opinions as, like I said, as fact. I tell you facts, and then I would tell you when it's an opinion. But like I said, just like I did with the last podcast where I talk about I don't know the financial setups and everything for Platonic Games. Stating out, this is just opinion. That's my point. But I do know when I say facts, I mean I state it out to what it is. So these guys just skim the surface and they just don't, they just skim the surface and tell you their opinions, and it's irrelevant to what the main topic was. And some people misquote, one, and two, you tell them one little thing and they go crazy and start rumor mills like crazy, as we all know. Remember, you got a person who made a fake Nintendo Switch just to fake with people, and again, other people who made a fake controller, and everybody in the world went with that crap. So it's just what it is. And to what you said, Sidekick Cooper, I do not know what excuse me. I don't know what Sakurai game he's working on. He said it's a new IP he's working on. That would be cool. I would love to see that. Hopefully he doesn't get shun like the several other IPs that Nintendo does, but they got Codename Steam and so on. But let's see. Let's see how it works out. And again, people shun. I saw what people were saying about it's wrong that Kenshi Tanabe worked on the concept to make the Metroid Prime Federation Force move other than the story and concept. Again, they don't understand how Nintendo works. They want to make sure the game works. Because one thing about that, the same thing with other M. You could say all you want subjectively, but objectively, the games work. They won't broken. So, what's your choice? You go buy that crazy stuff or not? Yep, new IPs is always a good thing, but the sad part about it is people talk that talk, and I'm not saying you, Psychic Cooper, but people talk that talk, but they don't back up they don't buy stuff. They don't buy new experience. They don't buy it. They buy it if it becomes popular, and that's what I say. I'm happy Splatoon became very popular and did something in Japan that no one should have ever done, and took over that scene. But that's as far as it went. Nobody else. Again, nobody thought that within a year and a half, this thing would be basically knocking on 5 million on one platform, which is crazy. And I'm happy for it. But I think Codename Steam should have got the same kind of love. Samurai should get the same type of love. Box Boy and Box Boy and Sakurai, they sold. That's why I said with the Playtonic games, without knowing the budget and everything, they don't need to sell 1 million, 2 million like the other thing, but they sold what they're supposed to sell, and that's cool. Just like Kirby Epic Planet Robo. Holy crap! Again, Japan basically refunded that game in the first week when that game came out. So we agree about that. So remember, if you're gonna do it, don't dig into the. If this is important to you, dig into this. Don't just skim the surface. Dig in. And I don't want you to go start trouble with nobody, but I would ask you to ask, just like you guys ask me questions about this, to ask them some kind of questions. But if they're gonna get like antsy and be a bitch about it, then you just don't. Because I don't want you to go into the lines then with these people acting like jerks because they think that they have sort of a contact and they use their opinion as facts to get yourself in trouble or whatever. Don't. Because the trolls will come after you and we don't have a problem. As you saw happen in the last podcast I had, where they came to my channel and came to my chat, into the chat, start messing with people and start talking stuff. But it's funny that I told them all they gotta do is sometimes a video and just move it because I'm not gonna give a name recognition, and it didn't thumbs it down. One person. Weird how that works out. Getting the Box Boy amiibo. Hey, if he comes out, yeah, I'll get the Box Boy amiibo AA. Splatoon really surprised me how well it did just in 1 year, and there's a potential for it to evolve further. Oh, there's way more potential to evolve further. I think me and Red Fox and some people we had an off-air chat. Like I said, the single player was a little bit short-lived, but for what it did a great job of getting you used to the thing. That was a perfect. It should have been longer, but the way they did it, I think, was pretty good for that. Now they got to add more meat to Splatoon 2. They got to do that because the single player way is that for me. I mean, I like the multiplayer, of course, getting online and do it, but I would love to have the single player as well too, to be beefed up. So, with that said, I hope you guys learned some stuff. Remember, you could check out these guys' names and see how many games these guys have underneath their belt. And some of them who, like I said, the young team for Splatoon, how much games they have underneath their belt before they got up to where they're at to make their own games. That's how you're supposed to do. Work from the bottom up. As Drake said, I started from the bottom, now I'm on the top. Just you got to do that to get to that spot. You just can't think you're going to be a rock star walking there. Miyamoto was one in a lifetime. And again, hell, not even Miyamoto. Inuma was one and two, because to get that challenge to do a turnover Zelda game in a year from Miyamoto, and Inuma took the job and knocked it out of the park with a really good game Had its little glitches too. Again, that's why I said there's no perfect games. But it was his own story. Didn't sell well back then. Funny, came on the 3DS, sold like crazy. Funny how that works out. Gotta love the internet. You gotta love how people just gloss over facts and stuff like that. But other than that, thank you guys for listening to me. Enjoy. I hope you guys learn a lot from my podcast. And again, if any more questions that you ask about what's going on in the topic I just said right there, you can leave a comment below. Other than that, there's no perfect game out there. What's perfect to you is not perfect to me. What's perfect to me is not perfect to you. Simply enjoy those games on any console and PC, no matter what. Your money, speak with your wallet, have fun with those games. All right, people. Peace out. Oh, wait, and also check out Zelda Universe TV. Give these guys a like, hit, because these are people who did something with a story, did whatever, and you know what? They asked Nintendo for permission, and they got a permission. It's so easy when you could just do something so simple. Ask for permission, and you shall receive, my son. And they ask for permission, and they don't get copyright, nothing. Nintendo approves of them using their cutscenes and everything in the video. Funny how that works, don't it, Angry Joe and PewDiePie and Rich and all you other jerks who just, I don't want to do it, Nintendo's holding back. Just ask. That's all you gotta do. Just ask, and you get the answer. But like I said, check out Zelda Universe. They have some great, like I said, if you're a Zelda fan, they do some, there's some voice dubs that's bad, but they're not really bad, but they're bad, but they got a lot of them that's done excellent. And right now, I am checking out Twilight Princess, the Twilight Princess dub that just started. I am going to be checking that out. Chapters 1 and 2 just went up last week, so going to be checking it out myself. So 1 and 2, I'm going to watch back to back. So, like I said, I have no problem promoting these guys because dubbing is not an easy thing. You can go to the bloopers and see how hard that stuff really is, and that's they show that. I'm happy that they show that because when we're doing dubbing for the animations and stuff in Japan, it's not easy. It's not easy to get the words and portraying the words the right way. And all that stuff is very difficult. But other than that, check out these guys. Zelda Universe TV. If you love Zelda, you want to get this information on Zelda, you can go there. That's for sure. They tell you about amiibo, shirt, clothes, everything. Anything Zelda, they do that. But also, they do dubs of many things, play music. Hell, they even got like Hyrule Warriors with the original Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Z opening. And they do it with other stuff too. So it's funny as hell. And then they got one with Breath of the Wild, and they have Zelda the last Airbender or something. It's not Airbender, but they take Airbender and put the theme and song to Breath of the Wild, and they did a good job with that too. So they do something again. Have fun. That's what they do. Have fun. So again, peace out. Peace out, guys. Enjoy it. And again, if you have anything that related to the issue of what we talked about, you can put it in the comment section, and I might just answer your questions later on or just type it to you. All right. Peace out. Enjoy your games, no matter what console it is.